Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make an easy crochet baby blanket. The free written pattern can be found on my website at julesandjones.com, and you can find a link for that in the description box below. Let's get started. The materials that you're going to need to make this crochet baby blanket is you are going to need 2 different colors of a worsted weight yarn. So for the blanket portion of my pattern, I'm using Align brand Pound of Love yarn in the color Quartz, and then for my border, I'm using Align brand Woolies yarn in the color Fisherman. You're also going to need 1 stitch marker, a darning needle, a pair of scissors, and you're also going to need a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, and this is the letter H. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our pattern. All right, so before we begin, I just quickly want to note that I'm just going to be making a swatch of the stitch that is used. So we're only going to be using 1 stitch for the blanket portion, and that's a treble crochet stitch. So for the swatch, I'll be chaining 16, and if you did want to go ahead and start the blanket, you want to chain 120. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our yarn, and you're just going to grab the tail end of the yarn, and you're going to wrap it around your finger twice for a slip knot. And then you're going to take the back piece, push it over the front piece, and then take the front piece and push it over the back piece and over your finger. Then pull tight and you should have a loop. Then go ahead and take your crochet hook, insert it into that loop, and then pull tight one more time. All right, and there's our slip knot. Okay, so I'm going to be chaining 16. So for a chain, you just simply want to yarn over and pull through, and that's it. And just continue to do that until you have your right amount of chains. Once you have your right amount of chains, it's time to start row 1. So we're going to be working our first treble crochet stitch into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for a treble crochet stitch, you want to wrap the yarn around your hook twice, and then you're going to insert the hook into that chain. You're going to yarn over, pull through. So now you should have 4 strands of yarn on your hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops for a treble crochet. And so you should have something that looks like this. Now you want to continue making treble crochets for the entirety of the chain. So let's do it again. Wrap the yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through. Should have 4 strands. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. And there you go. Now you have another treble crochet. All right, so just continue to do that until the end of your chain. Once you have made all your treble crochet stitches for the first row, you should have something that looks like this. And so now we're going to start row 2. All right, so for row 2, we're going to be chaining 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to turn our work. All right, and we are going to work a treble crochet in the back loop in the 2nd stitch. So we're going to skip this first one right here because our chain 3 acts as a treble crochet, and so we're going to be working a treble crochet in the back loop in the 2nd stitch. And so the back loop, take off my crochet hook here, but the back loop is going to be right here. So this is the back loop, okay? So instead of working your crochet hook in both, you will just be working it in the back loop. All right, so let me go ahead and insert my crochet hook, and I'm gonna wrap over twice again, and I'm gonna insert my hook into that 2nd stitch in the back loop, and I'm just gonna complete another treble crochet. All right, and so you just want to continue to repeat that until the end of the row again. All right, so here's my next stitch. I'm going to insert it into that back loop and just finish off my treble crochet. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and continue that, and then I will meet you right here towards the end. Okay, so I'm here and I'm just about at my end. I just need to make 1 more treble crochet. I just wanted to show you how I do that because I know sometimes it can be confusing, especially towards the end. So I'm just going to wrap over twice, and I'm going to find my 3rd chain because your last stitch will be in the 3rd chain, and the easy way to do this is to just simply carefully flip it over, and you can count 1, 2, and 3. And so I'm just going to insert it into that back loop and then finish off my treble crochet. And there you go. Now you've completed row 2. Okay, and so now for row 3 till row 36, you're just going to continue to repeat row 2. So you're just going to work your treble crochets in the back loop. All right, so I'm going to make a few more rows for my swatch, and then I'm going to move on to the border, and I'm going to show you how I do that. All right, so I just finished working 2 more rows of treble crochets in the back loop for my swatch. And so if you did go ahead and start the pattern, you would want to work until row 36. All right, and so now we're going to start our border. Now the border is split up into 2 parts. So for this pattern, you're going to make a single crochet border, and then you're going to make a pom-pom border. The single crochet border is made in the same color as the blanket, and the pom-pom border is made in that second color. Okay, so I chose to work with the Woolies color in the color Fisherman. All right, so for our single crochet border, this is how it's going to work. We are going to make a chain, and we're going to work on the side first, so our row side, and we're going to place 3 single crochets on the row. Okay, and then once you're on the foundation chain, you're going to just make 1 single crochet in each chain, and then your hair on the side again, and that's when you're going to make 3 single crochets, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet on top again for the stitches, and then you'll meet your chain again from the beginning part. All right, so it might sound a little confusing, but I'm going to go over everything step by step. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our border. Okay, so our first step in making the single crochet border is to make a chain. So go ahead and wrap your yarn over your hook and make a chain. Now you want to grab your stitch marker, and you are just going to place that into that chain. All right, and this is just going to help us at the end when we have to slip stitch everything together. All right, then grab your hook and insert it back into that loop. And now we're going to work 3 single crochets. So 2 single crochets are going to be for the corner, and then 1 single crochet for the side. All right, which makes a total of 3. Okay, so go ahead and work a single crochet in that space, then work another single crochet for 2, and then work a single crochet right here in this spot. Okay, so you can just insert your hook either right here or right here, whatever you prefer. All right, and that is 3 single crochets. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay, and now we're just going to continue to do that. So work 2 single crochets in that space, and then 1 single crochet in the area where the stitch meets. Okay, so go ahead and work 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in that space. All right, and that's another 3. Okay, so here we go again. 2 single crochet in that space, and then 1 single crochet in that 1 stitch area. All right, and now we're back at our corner here. So we're just going to make 3 single crochets, so 2 in the space, and then 1 in the corner. All right, and so now you have your first row done. So you should have something that looks like this. All right, let's go ahead and carefully turn our work, or I mean just flip to the side. And now we're going to work a single crochet in each chain, and so this is just your foundation chain. Okay, so my first one is right here, and I can grab a stitch, or I can grab a darning needle and show you, but it's right here. See that? You can actually see all your chains here. All right, so go ahead and insert your hook carefully into that chain and just work a single crochet. Now just continue to do this until the end of the row. All right, so I'm here almost at my end, and so I still have to make 2 more single crochets, 2 for the corner and then 1 for the side. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my second single crochet and then work my third single crochet. All right, and so now I'm again at the one side, and just like this side, you're going to work 2 single crochets and then work 1 single crochet in that stitch space, 2 single crochets and then 1 stitch in that stitch space. All right, and just continue to do this until the very end, and I will meet you right here. All right, so I've just finished working my 3 single crochets, so 2 single crochets on the side, and that extra one right here counts as 3. And so now we're just going to work a single crochet in each stitch on the other side. All right, so I've just finished working my 3 single crochets right here for 2 single crochets on the side, and then that extra stitch, so you should have 3. And so now we're just going to work our last side. All right, and so this one is actually a lot easier because you're just going to place a single crochet in each stitch. All right, so here's my first stitch right here, and we're just going to insert our hook and make a single crochet. So just continue to do this until your last stitch. All right, so I've just worked my last single crochet, and so now we just need to slip stitch our border together. So this is where that stitch marker comes in really handy because you are going to make your slip stitch in that chain. All right, so go ahead and remove your stitch marker. Insert your hook into that chain, and then yarn over and pull through, and then pull through one more time for a slip stitch, and then that's it. Now we finished our first part of our border, so now we're ready for our second border. All right, so we are ready to work our second border. So before we do that though, we need to just finish off our single crochet border. So go ahead and cut your yarn, and then we are just gonna wrap it over our hook and pull through, and then pull tight one more time to create a knot. Okay. So now for our second border, you're going to need your second color. All right, and then we are just going to insert our hook into that first stitch next to the spot where we just closed off our first border. And then you're going to grab your second color, and you are just going to carefully drape it over the hook. So your tailwind is on the right side and your ball of yarn is on the left. And just carefully pull it through, and then chain one. And then just pull that tailwind just to tighten a little bit. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. All right, so now we're ready to start our pom-pom border. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make a single crochet. So we're going to make a single crochet in the same stitch where we added our yarn. All right, so go ahead and reinsert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through one more time to make a single crochet. Once you've done this, you are going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we are going to work a double crochet cluster into the third chain from the hook. So a double crochet cluster is basically a double crochet that's unfinished. So it finishes at the end. So let's go ahead and work our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into that third chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and that's it. Okay, so see how you kind of leave it unfinished, because if we were to finish off our double crochet, we would yarn over and then pull through. All right, so here we go. We have to make 2 more for a total of 4 loops on our hook. So yarn over, insert your hook back into that same chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. All right, and let's do it one more time. So yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through those 2 loops. And so you should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now yarn over one more time and pull through all 4 loops. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. And then you just want to chain 1 to close the cluster. All right, okay, so here's our next part. You just want to chain 2 more, so 2 chains, 1, 2, so you should have 3 chains here, 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to work another cluster into the third chain from the hook. Okay, so that's the chain that we use to close the cluster. All right, let me grab my darning needle here so I can show you. But it's this part right here, so it's this chain. Okay, so go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over one more time to pull through the first 2 loops. All right, and then yarn over, insert your hook back into that same chain and pull through, and then yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Now we have to do one more time. So yarn over, insert your hook, and then pull it through, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So you should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and then yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. and then you just want to chain 1 to close the cluster. All right, so now you should have something that looks like this. So now for the fun part, you just take the first cluster and just push it over on the other cluster. So you're basically just closing it. And you are going to make a slip stitch into the chain where you made the cluster. Okay, and so I'm going to just take my crochet hook out here for a second. And so you can either work it in here if you'd like, but I find that if you just work it into the loop underneath, that it holds a lot better. Okay, so let me see if I can show you here a little bit easier. So instead of working it in here, you just want to work it right underneath. Okay, so that spot. All right, so we're just going to make a slip stitch. So insert your hook into that spot and then kind of pull it tight and then make a slip stitch. Just like that. So you should have something that looks like this. All right, and then we are just going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then make a single crochet into the 4th stitch. Okay, so here's my 4th stitch, and I'm just going to work that single crochet. All right, so you should have something that looks like this. Okay, see how cute that is? All right, and so now what you want to do is you are just going to repeat this little part around the whole entire blanket. So in my case, it would just be around the swatch. So I'm going to continue working this little section all the way around my swatch, and then I'll meet you here at the end to show you what I do to finish it. All right, so I've just finished working my pom-pom border, and so you should have something that looks like this around your swatch or your blanket. And so now all we have to do is just finish it off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are just going to make a slip stitch into that first single crochet. All right, so here's my single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and then pull through for a slip stitch, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through to finish off my work. And there you go. Now you have just completed your second border. All right, and so that is how you make the blanket. All right, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial on how to make this baby blanket. Don't forget, you can find all the pattern notes and directions in the description box. So there will be a link to my website to the free pattern. There's also a PDF version available, so I'll go ahead and include that link in the description box as well. But yeah, I hope you found it helpful, and if you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!